Child, Brandy must have been a real piece of work to be around during the height of her fame in Hollywood. Now, we've heard that Brandy can be particularly catty and foul to anyone who she thought was beneath her or in competition with her for her it girl status in Hollywood. But it looks like Brandy has stepped on a lot more toes than she's imagined, because just when she thought that she had moved on from the drama of her younger years and had matured, Sheryl Lee Ralph revealed that she didn't really find it fun being on the set of Moesha, and part of the reason why she had to step away was because of how she was treated by the younger cast members, especially Brandy, who was absolutely letting everyone know who was really in charge on set.
Moesha was 100 episodes for sure, and it ended badly. It didn't end, in a way that made the audience feel good, and I always miss the fact that we didn't have a great ending.
Now, what exactly did Brandy do to Sheryl Lee Ralph to get her so upset? Well, whatever it is, she is making it very clear that she was not happy with Brandy and might not be willing to come back if there was ever a Moesha reboot. Now, some of you might know Sheryl Lee Ralph from her role as the God-fearing Barbara Howard on Abbott Elementary. But Auntie Cheryl has been around for a minute now. Think Dreamgirls on Broadway and Sister Act 2. And also, she is a Tony-nominated queen. She also won an Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for her role in Abbott Elementary. I mean, Cheryl is a legend in her own right, and she has made a name for herself in Hollywood. But if there's one person that knows what it's like being a Black woman in Hollywood trying to find her way, baby, it's Sheryl Lee Ralph. She has been through it, y'all. She's talked about facing crazy industry rules like being told she couldn't rock braids because they weren't deemed as professional or polished enough to be on the big screen. One casting director even told her that no one wanted to see her star as a leading lady or kiss Tom Cruise because of her race. And on top of that, Cheryl was talking about how she lost out on a role for not being Black enough. Like, imagine that. So when Cheryl got wind of a chance to work with Brandy, a young starlet on the rise, she was all in.
Tell you, there was nothing better for me at that time to be in a series, having walked the walk on a road that I had helped build, than to see this 14-year-old in all of her braids on TV as a smart girl, writing in her journal about her life. And we were drawing 10 million viewers a week. Oh, it was great.
Brandy was out here making waves as a singer and an actress. She had the 90s and early 2000s on lock. You hear me? She hailed as the vocal Bible and already had hit songs like I Wanna Be Down from her first album. And there were lots of brands lining up just to work with her. And she was about to star in a sitcom that was made just for her. To Cheryl, it was an amazing opportunity to see Brandy doing all of these things while rocking her braids and her beautiful brown skin and allowed to just be herself.
And there was this young 14-year-old girl, and in all of her young, hip Blackness and her braids. And as somebody who had walked before, you realize that the walk that you made was worth something because she's here now, and she's a kid, whereas when I was 19 and working and doing my thing, people were like, yeah, but what are you going to do with her? What do you do with a talented Black kid? And what do you do with a girl? And to see her and to have the show about her, for me, it just made me feel so good.
Cheryl was thrilled to be a part of a sitcom showing positivity within a Black family, something that wasn't too common back then. Plus, she was even more excited to work with a young, talented cast. And this was one of the few times where she got to work with an all-Black cast, and they were all main stars of the show. So when Cheryl signed on to play Dee Mitchell on Moesha, she was super hype. She was ready to share her wisdom and connect with the next generation of Black talent and create something so meaningful and just special. Cheryl was on the show for 5 seasons, and while she was there, she had several high moments. It brought her to a wider audience, and she even got voted as one of America's favorite TV moms. But here's where things started to get a little messy and toxic. Cheryl did have a lot of good moments on the show, but there were also some moments that completely put a damper on things and eventually caused her to say, you know what? Enough is enough. According to Cheryl, the Moesha set turned toxic, and she really couldn't deal with just how much the teenagers disrespected her. Cheryl stated in her memoir that her feelings got hurt several times, but as an adult, she had to take it on the chin and just move forward so that she could do her job and get back to her family. There were a couple times that she did speak out about how her young co-stars would delay production due to their antics, but the more she spoke out, the more everyone saw her as the wicked stepmom that they did not want to be around. And a big part of the toxicity and delays on set allegedly came from Brandy and her crew. Cheryl said that Brandy had a squad of yes men around her, folk who would hype her up no matter what and let her act any old kind of way. And apparently Brandy wasn't always the sweetheart that people thought she was, especially if she believed that you were beneath her, including Cheryl. She was the star of the show, and you can bet that she didn't let anyone forget it, not even for a minute, especially when she wanted things to go her way. But Cheryl still wasn't letting any of that get to her. She had always been professional and treated it like a job where she got in and got out, got her check exactly like she was supposed to. Still, there was only so much Cheryl could take until she had had enough. One time, when production for Moesha had paused, Cheryl went and got her hair braided and resumed work with her braids still in. When Brandy saw her, she told Cheryl that they looked cute and that they were twinning since Brandy was always the one wearing braids. But when Cheryl wasn't looking, Brandy had a totally different story to tell. She started complaining about Cheryl's braids and went straight to the producers with it. The braids were Brandy's signature thing, and she didn't want anyone else on the show having braids that looked similar to hers. So when the producers pulled her to the side and asked her to take them out, Cheryl refused. And then they demanded that she removed her braids, but she still refused. When they saw that forcing her wasn't going to work, the producers tried a different approach and offered Cheryl $25,000 for her charity and a custom wig to switch her look. Now, Cheryl eventually agreed, but the whole situation really hit her hard. It wasn't just about her hair, it was about respect, or the lack thereof. Imagine being a seasoned actress only to get hit with that kind of shade. It really felt like an aggressive slap to the face. By the time season 5 rolled around, Cheryl was done. The Moesha set had become a straight up nightmare, and it was taking a serious toll on her. The relationship that she had hoped to have with Brandy was now a thing of the past, and Moesha really wasn't about the characters anymore. There were a lot of storylines being abandoned, and it was more about the backstage drama than making a good show for their viewers. Brandy got the slot as executive producer on the show, and she and her mom Sonia really put their foot down and get Ray J on the show as Frank's illegitimate son. Now bringing Ray J on the show was the worst thing that could have ever happened to Moesha, according to Cheryl. Frank had his moments on the show, but suddenly making him a liar and a cheater? Like, what now? Cheryl felt like that storyline destroyed the family at the heart of the show, and she wasn't here for it. Moesha was supposed to be about love and unity, not about soap opera level chaos. And on top of that, Cheryl was dealing with some very heavy personal struggles. Her marriage was falling apart, and she had been open about battling depression and high blood pressure during this time. So being in this toxic work environment was the very last thing that Cheryl wanted, and she made the tough call to walk away from Moesha. And honestly, who can blame her? There are times when you just have to choose your peace, and that is exactly what Cheryl did.
God, when they let me go from Moesha for a whole bunch of things I will not discuss. And I realized, wait a minute, first of all, I did not deserve that.
Right.
Second of all, it's their loss.
And let's just say that she chose to leave at the right time, because the series came to an end just a year after she left. She moved on, but the trauma from the set still lingers, and it's clear that she got some unresolved feelings about how things went down. And what Cheryl just revealed has gotten the whole internet buzzing. Hearing that Brandy was a B to Sheryl Lee Ralph has got me truly looking at her funny. People always said that Brandy was a B. Brandy was really beefing with Sheryl Lee Ralph because they both had braids. Brandy seemed to have a beef with a lot of people in the 90s. Thea, Aaliyah, Monica, and now Cheryl. The common denominator is Brandy. Have y'all heard any more stories about how Brandy allegedly treated her co-stars back in the day? If so, share your thoughts in the comments and make sure you don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.